Well, we're super excited to be joined by Giants third baseman Matt Chapman, who's going to be here for a long time, which that's a big deal. But, Matt, I remember talking to you last year in spring training. You had just signed the first contract with the Giants, and you were excited, but you also said, I think this could be a place that I could stay. As the 2024 season went on, what were things that were happening that you were seeing maybe on the field or in the organization that strengthened that feeling that, hey, you know what, I really do want to stay with this organization?
Yeah, I would probably say the number one thing would be, Bo Mel. I feel super comfortable playing for Bo Mel. He's the reason why I came here in the first place. And, as the season went on and I got to know, not only my teammates, but the fan base, I'm already comfortable with the Bay Area, getting to just kind of feel the support we got from the fans, see how committed the front office was to winning, and just how they treat you in this organization. They treated me, amazing since day one, and I just felt like I was, very comfortable here, and it was somewhere I could see myself. And I think, what needed to happen was for them to feel the same way about me as I felt about them, and then it all worked out.
So you and your wife Taylor became parents for the first time. You got a beautiful baby girl named Gia. So now you got a family. How did that come into play in your decision to say, hey, obviously you want a long-term contract, but you want to be in a place where you're super comfortable?
Yeah, this just checked all the boxes, and I wanted to get that long-term contract, wanted to, get something that I felt like I was worth, and that I've been working for my whole life, and that I've waited for and turned down other offers for. But then also being in San Francisco, being in California, being somewhere close to home, it just felt like the right fit. And that was another reason why I wanted to sign the extension. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I fell in love with being a Giant last season, and I don't want to play anywhere else. And so I didn't want to have to go into the off season and stretch this thing out. And I wanted to just focus on being a dad and knowing where I'm going to be next year, and just getting excited to play baseball for the Giants and have a normal off season.
Hey, Matt, there's this narrative out there. There has been about San Francisco being an issue for free agents coming to the Giants. I find it interesting because it doesn't make that much sense. You sign Willy Adames, one of the best shortstops. You sign a Hall of Famer in Verlander. You decide to stay. But you fought that narrative a little bit. You went to the media and said, wait a minute. You stood up for San Francisco. You stood up for the Bay Area. Why did you do that?
It was easy. It was how I felt. I'm not going to, I wouldn't lie if I didn't enjoy it. I would say it. One, you're playing in great weather all the time. You're on the West Coast. I'm partial to that, but I love being on the West Coast. But I think people could sense that this is an organization that's a first-class organization. It's somewhere that really wants to win. They take care of their players as well as anywhere I've ever been. And then it was easy for me to sign up, especially with Bob and Buster at the top, and then I sign, and then then Willie follows, and Justin comes, and more people are going to start to come, because I think once you get them here, they're not going to want to leave. Everybody that plays for the Giants loves it.
Now, Matt, you saw the Giants organization from somewhat of a distance when you opened your career with the A's, but is there something that you have found out about the Giants organization that maybe you didn't know, even though you were close in proximity, and you were like, you know what, that's pretty cool?
Yeah, I would say a few things. I always envied how many fans they got when I was on the A's. One thing that I didn't really pay attention to as much being across the way was how much pride they take in the Giants organization, mm-hmm. and how much they bring around, the Barry Bondses and all these guys that played with the Giants, and and Willie Mays, and how, there's a rich history here, and being a Giant means something. And, I obviously was aware of all the legends that have played here. I know how great of an organization it is, but until you get in the uniform and get in the building and feel how much pride and mm-hmm. passion that this organization has for being a Giant, it means something when you put this jersey on. There's a respect of the people that have done it before you, and a respect for the city. There's an expectation the fans have, and for me to be a part of it, and how everybody else feels about it, I feel the same way. And it's my favorite place I've ever played. It feels like home, and there's nowhere else I would rather be.
Yeah, nobody nobody celebrates their history better than the Giants, and I can imagine what it's like to know that you're going to be part of that going forward.
Yeah,
So
it feels
that's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, you have these great leadership qualities, and I know you've heard a lot about this, but I remember when you got brought up to the A's. It was a big deal. You were a first-round pick, and we were excited to see you play. And the first things we started hearing about you were, he will be a leader in our clubhouse very, very soon. And you had just gotten called up. Is that just something that's there, a quality like that? I mean, can you learn to be a leader, or is it just something that's in you? Because, like I said, you had it right from the start when you got to the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably something that's just in some people either have it or they don't. Because I've never tried to be a leader, in the sense of like tried to demand something like that. Like I've always just tried to be myself, and I think that, sometimes people rally behind that or whatever it is. But even when I was a younger kid on all the teams that I played on, like it seemed like I was kind of one of the guys leading the charge, right? And as a kid, more so probably just having fun and, making up the jokes or whatever it is and things that we're doing as kids and playing baseball. But then as I got older, I learned how to kind of like, because I care, I guess. I care about winning. I care about my teammates, and, I try to bring the best out of them. And I think that's probably, one of those things. And it's kind of been a natural thing. I've played baseball and sports my whole life, and I've been in a lot of locker rooms, and I've always been comfortable being in that situation. It's probably where I feel the most comfortable is, just playing sports and being in with the guys. And I truly love it. So I think that, that would be probably my best guess.
Was the post-game referee shirt your idea, and how much, I know you can't get into all of it, but where did that come about? Because it looks like you're in charge of the post-game celebrations, and you do that with a referee shirt and a whistle.
Yeah, we have fun. So it started in Oakland. Okay. We started doing a basketball shot, and then it turned into me being the referee. And then I think last year we were kind of searching for some sort of celebration, and they got me the referee outfit, and then it kind of just took on a life of its own. Next thing you know, we got a giant basketball hoop and like all these things. So I think that, you got to celebrate winning.
Last year you won the Willie Mack Award. Big deal in the Giants organization, and I think you realize that now. It's voted on by your teammates and the coaches and the training staff. What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot, and I think that's just like another one of those things that until you're in this organization, you don't realize how much it means, and besides making the playoffs, it's like top off a great year, for me personally, just really unbelievable first year experience with the Giants. There's just so many good things happened. The only thing that would have made it better was a postseason run. But the Willie Mack Award, just to be on that list with all those guys, it's something that is voted on by people whose opinions that I respect. Sure. And I care about. And it's kind of like if the players were to vote for you to make it in the All-Star game or something, right? It's like when the people that your peers and the people that you really care about see you that way, it really means a lot. And
you won a Gold Glove, your fifth. I'm always curious. Some guys stash them away. Some guys put the latest one out. Some guys have all of them out. Well, you got 5 now. Where are they?
Well, until about 2 days ago, they were in the closet at my parents' house. But we got a new house, and there'll be some room for it. I gave one to my dad, so they have it at their house, and then I have 4 plus the 2 platinum gloves to find space for. I don't know if they'll all make it up, but I'll definitely have some room to put some up. And then super blessed to be able to have that and to win one with the Giants, and now have one in the American League and National League. That last year's was really, really special to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt you're going to win more. And you got a bobblehead coming.
I do.
I know you had a bobblehead with the A's, which was pretty cool. Have you seen the Giants bobblehead, and are you good with it?
I have seen it. I am good with it. We made a few tweaks, I think, to it, but I think they got it. No stash.
Really?
Should have put a stash on there. Now that I think about it, we could draw one on. Maybe we'll add a mustache to a couple of them. Couple lucky fans
Special
will get a mustache edition.
All right.
But no, it's going to be fun to be able to do I think they'll do the bobblehead and then do my Gold Glove ceremony all in that first weekend. So
that's great.
That'll be a pretty special moment.
Matt, I want to ask you about 3 plays that you make defensively. I'd like you to kind of take us through it physically and kind of mentally how you're thinking about it. The play behind the bag at third. Usually, play you obviously got to use your arm, which you have a terrific arm. But let's start with that one and just kind of walk us through your thoughts when you go deep behind the bag and what that play entails.
Most of the time, those balls go down the line there. I'm probably anticipating it a little bit more because it's a right-handed hitter, and he's going to, I think he's going to pull the ball. So I'm probably assuming it's going to go that way. The first order of business, obviously, is catch the ball. So that, before I even think about the throw, I'm making sure I catch the ball, and then I'm almost taking an extra step with the ball in my glove so that I don't try to transfer too fast and bobble it, because on those plays especially, I don't really have time to bobble it. I kind of have to make a clean transfer. So it's like catch and then take an extra step to kind of like gather myself, because sometimes I'm like kind of leaned over pretty far, and then as I'm transferring the ball, I'll take another extra step so I can get a good accurate throw off, because if I rush that play, I'm not going to get the out anyway. So I kind of have to take the extra risk to take the couple extra steps to make a good throw, or else I would just rush it and maybe not even get the out. So if the guy's fast, you put yourself at risk of him maybe beating it out, but for the most part, those balls are hit pretty hard, so you have some time. So it's like, you want to make the play super fast and rush it, but you kind of got to let it develop a little bit, or else you're not going to be able to get the best throw off.
All right, now your play to your left. Okay, so this is where the shortstop kind of comes into play, and I know you and Willie have worked on it a lot. But you have such great range going to your left. Take us through that play.
So that one is a little bit easier, going to the left, I guess, because everything's a little bit more in front of you, whereas you're going to your backhand, it's kind of like you're going away from the bag and it's behind you. This one, I'm trying to just pretty much cut in front of Willie, so I'm not getting in his way at the chance that I miss the ball. So I'm going to go straight at it, and then if I get it, I'm usually, if I'm going this way, I'm spinning probably, and because I didn't get around it, but I'm going to spin. And then the most important part of that play for me is making sure that I plant well with my right leg, because I'm going to spin, plant with my right leg to get my momentum going back to first base. And if you don't use your legs on that play, chances are you're not going to make an accurate throw. So for me, it's about getting my balance again and then making the throw. And luckily, I trust my arm, and I can make a strong throw. So I always give myself an extra second to kind of plant to get a good throw off.
And then, of course, the last one is maybe the most famous play a third baseman has to make. And honestly, I've seen a lot. Nobody makes it better than you. And it's fun. I almost look forward to a slow chopper to third. But it's the ball you charge, whether you barehand or, pick it and with the quick release. Take us through that ball that you got to come in on.
Well, I appreciate that, but I make a lot of those slow roller plays because I do play so deep, so I kind of leave myself open to the slow roller sometimes. But I trust myself making the quick transfer or barehanding it and throwing on the run. I would say I'm 9 out of 10 times I want to catch it with my glove and make a quick transfer. One thing I am good at doing is making quick transfers from my glove to my hand. And then I feel like I'm able to get a stronger throw off when I use my glove. And I don't have to slow down as much, because when you barehand, you got to be a little bit more precise. You got to slow down, then get the ball, then kind of speed back up to throw it. And I do that if I have to, right? And if the play calls for the barehand, I'll barehand it. But if I can not break stride and just run straight through it with my glove and pick it and transfer and throw, I would prefer to do that, because I'm running as fast as I can usually, and it's hard to slow down. So it's nice to just kind of blow right through the ball. And then as I'm transferring, I'm still gaining ground towards first base, so I'm getting closer. So those ones happen really fast, but those ones are always really fun to make. We've
seen you and Willie Adames get tight quickly.
Yeah.
When did that start? I mean, obviously you played against him and you may know him a little bit, but when did it start, and why do you think your relationship with him is so important for not just you, but really for the whole organization now, with you guys being here a long time?
It's huge. First off, Willie's easy to like. I love that guy already. I feel like it doesn't matter who you are, he treats everybody the same. He's got great energy. I feel like what's really cool about him is he is Dominican, right? But he has a really good connection with the Latin players, and I feel like he's going to bring them even closer to the whole group and really bring everybody together. But also, he's really close with the American guys too, and he speaks good English, and he really tries, and he already is a leader of this team and brings guys together. And every team he's ever left has, when he left the Rays, they were so disappointed, and Milwaukee would have loved to keep him. So it's like everywhere he's gone, he's loved, and everybody wants him to stay. And you can tell right away just by him being out here. He works hard, does things the right way. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a guy that's not on the 40-man, a guy that's on the big league team. Doesn't matter who he is. He talks to guys. He has fun with them. He's taking guys out to dinner. So like he's already putting an effort in. Obviously the talent on the field speaks for itself, and I think it's going to just be huge because me and him are here for the longest. I'm here for 6 more years, hopefully more, and he's here for 7 at least, right? So I think we're gonna, and both of us are driven and want to play every day. We play the game very similar styles, I would say. We both play hard. So I think there's a lot of similarities. I think what I learned from playing in Toronto and Oakland was when your best players post up and play every single day and set the tone. And I just think that Willie, without even us having to talk about it, we know that's what we're going to do and how we go about our business. And then you throw in Jung Hoo and some of these other guys that are going to be in there every single day. We're going to have more of a set lineup this year, and with a consistent 1 through 5, 1 through 6 in our lineup every single day. I think when you have that consistency and then that structure coming from guys like me and Willie, and it's like, hey, this is how we do things here. I think it's huge. You mentioned Bob Melvin a couple times, one of our favorites. Obviously, he's one of just a couple managers that you've ever played for, and he was your first manager. What do you like most about Bob? Yeah, there's a lot to like. I love Bob Mel. He's my favorite manager, and I don't want to play for anybody ever again besides that guy. But I would just say, he's the same guy every day. It doesn't matter if we just came off a rough series or we've been, the hottest team in baseball. He's the same guy every single day. And the message is always consistent. If he tells you something, you can believe him. That he's pulling for you. He cares about his players. He puts the players first. It's all about the players for him. And he's a serious guy, right? Sure. So, but he's loved you since the day you got called up in Oakland. And I was thinking, if anybody can make Bob laugh, it's got to be Chappy. For sure. Can you make him laugh? Because that's not an easy job. I can make him laugh. You can. I can also gross him out. It's more situational. You got to be quick to get him to laugh. He's a smart guy, and he is definitely serious, but you can get him to laugh. He's got a good sense of humor. He just, you got to work on him a little bit. So I'd say for me, it's more in the moment doing things that I get him to laugh, because it's situational based, but it's not like I'd just go out to him and be like, hey, here's a funny joke I heard. Yeah. It's got to be really, and you got to earn it with him. And if anybody can do it, you can. Matt, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. We're super thrilled you're going to be here for 6 years. And, it feels like you've been a Giant for a long time, because you have that Giants look. So congratulations on the contract. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate it. Go Giants.